Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the Iron Claw curse. And this is a family curse. And we're going to talk about family curses here. We're going to talk about generational curses here. And more importantly, kind of how to go about breaking a family curse or breaking a generational curse. And a generational curse could be anything that kind of you feel that has travel from generation to generation. For example, it could be poverty. Lots of times poverty is a generational curse. So let's kind of dive into this and kind of talk about this. This is kind of a very unique topic, but a topic that affects most of us really, because most of us carry like embedded little curses from generation and generation in us that really holds us back from not even manifesting, but holds us back and just having overall success in our lives. What is the Iron Claw curse? Now, the Iron Claw curse, the Iron Claw is actually a movie. And the movie stars Zac Efron. It's a very good movie. I've seen the movie, of course. I've seen it a couple times. If you haven't seen the movie, go see it. It's an excellent movie, and that's where I got the Iron Claw curse from, the idea from. I'm going to try not to spoil the movie for you, but I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview so you can understand the Iron Claw curse. Now, the Iron Claw curse is Zac Efron in a movie. He's basically narrating the movie. He plays a character in the movie, a family member in the movie, but he's also kind of throughout the movie narrating it throughout the movie also. The Iron Claw curse, they always believed that their family was cursed. All the kids believed that their family was cursed. Their family was going to go under hard times, no matter how successful they really were. Okay, and how it really happened, how a family curse starts or a generational curse starts, is from their dad, from their father. Their father, once they were just teeny tiny, just babies, he always told them that their family was cursed. That their family is going to go into hard times, that something's always going to happen to hold them back. And like in the movie, the premise of the movie is and it's actually a true story. They were really big, like in the 1980s, when they were really big in the Wrestling Federation. During that time, there were like several wrestling federations, and there were all the wrestling federations were kind of competing with another for the number one spot of a wrestling federation. So the dad created his own wrestling federation. But the dad, as far little as his kids were, even the Zac Efron character was, I think there was like 4 brothers. One brother died when he was 5, then there were 4 brothers. So with all the brothers, they were all kind of brainwashed when they were teeny tiny from their family was cursed. And remember, I've shared this in other videos, like all psychologists agree, and you can research this, all psychologists agree, by the time we're at age 7, like when we're 7 years old, we've already formed our beliefs. And this is scary. This is kind of scary information. Okay, our beliefs don't really change since we're 7 years old, unless we really, really want them to change. But most of our beliefs that we have are from when we were kids. And all psychologists agree with that. By the time we're 7, our beliefs have already been formed. So imagine that, as early back as you can really remember. I mean, I can't really remember back when I was 2 or 3, but the kids are just, even when they're babies, they're just taking everything in and listening. And your dad and your parents are constantly talking about this curse. Our family is cursed. Every time something happened bad to them, they would always come back and say, we're cursed. Okay, and this is kind of all through the movie. That's what kind of made me kind of think about, generational curses. And then I bet you, and it didn't really go back that far, like from their dad, like how his father was, but I almost bet you his father did the same thing to their dad. Like when he was growing up, their family was cursed. Their family was cursed. Anytime something bad happened, anytime something negative happened in their family, they would always verbally say, well, our family is cursed, but this is why it happened. Our family has bad luck. Our family is cursed. And this is how generational curses start. And this is how it stays in generations, because as your kids are super small, you're either teaching it to them, you're saying it to them, or you're talking about it around them, and that influences their mind, that influences their subconscious mind. By the time they're about 7 years old, they firmly believe it, baby. They firmly believe, well, my family's cursed. Then they carry that on their whole life. Then when they have kids, they do the same exact thing. Okay, now this could be curses, this could be anything. This could be poverty, this could be maybe you were abused as a kid, and that abuse goes from generation to generation to generation. So, how do you really fix it? Okay, now we kind of understand the generational curses, how they really kind of start, and they start when we're really young. But I want to kind of dive into, how do we really fix a generational curse? In a generational curse, it could be poverty. It could be when anything bad happens, I'm verbally saying something like that. I'm verbally saying, well, I'm cursed, or bad luck always happens to me, or every time I make a little bit of money, every time I get ahead, something happens, it falls me back. And we put so much energy to it. And then lots of times we can actually go back, it happened to our parents, it happened to our grandparents. So we really have the same beliefs as our great-great-grandparents. It just kind of followed within the tracks. How do we really break it? Now, this is easier said than done. This isn't easy work, because we're talking about really embedded beliefs to our core. Okay, really embedded beliefs that we heard as early back as we can remember. We've heard it being said to us, taught to us. We've overheard conversations. And it's really embedded in us. So this isn't gonna end in one day. This isn't gonna be a 1 week thing. This is gonna take some work. Okay, it's just like if you have a negative view about money, it takes some work for you to stop that negative view, to start loving money, to start loving success. Okay, it takes a little bit of work. So this is what I want you to do. One is you really need to start a personal development program every single day. Personal development, getting into, different exercises throughout the day. And I'll post some videos here for you, or throughout this video, that will help you out, doing I am statements, doing scripting, overall thinking positive, building affirmations around your new beliefs. Every time your mind goes in a gutter, every time you start thinking negative, you have a positive affirmation that you say. Sometimes it can be mixed with I am statements, with affirmations. So you really need to start doing that. Buy books. I have a really big bookshelf over here of books I collected over the years. I have books here, and I actually have way more in the garage that, all that's taken up everything here. So I put some books in the garage outside. But build a personal development library, so you can go out and you're constantly reading books. You're constantly reading things that challenge your beliefs, and the more you do this over time, it's going to help influence you. Now, the second thing I want you to do is really powerful. Okay, when negative things happen to you in your life, don't bring energy to it. Okay, don't bring any emotion to it. Ignore it. Now, I know that's hard to do, because right now you're probably, when something negative happens, you get really emotional with it. Then you start saying things around it. You start saying things like, oh, this always happens to me. Or you start saying something like the iron claw curse. Well, my family's been cursed for generations. You start verbalizing it. So basically what's happening is you're bringing emotion to it. Okay, remember, whatever emotion we bring to something, that's what we attract. So if you always bring emotion to negative things, so what that's doing is it's telling our subconscious mind that, oh, this person wants more of it. The reason our subconscious mind does this is because, remember, our subconscious mind, it doesn't have a personality, okay? It doesn't have a humor, okay? It just looks at something you're bringing emotion to, and it just looks at it as, oh, Chad likes this. So let's bring more of this to Chad. Let's bring more of this to Chad's life, because I'm focusing on it. And this also goes along with, I don't want to get off on a tangent here. This also goes along with the law of karma. The law of karma is the same thing keeps occurring in our life over and over and over and over. Maybe not the exact same thing, but similar things, and usually similar negative things keep on happening to us over and over and over and over and over. This is the law of karma. This is a cycle of karma. The reason it's happening, just like a generational curse, is because we're focusing on it. We're bringing emotion to it. Okay? With the law of attraction, manifesting, positive thinking, law of assumption, it doesn't mean that negative things are not going to happen. It doesn't mean that when I wake up today, something in my day is going to happen that I don't like. It doesn't mean that nothing negative is going to happen to me because I'm Mr. Positive. It doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is, what is my perception of this? Okay, if something negative happens, what's my perception of it? And what I mean by that is, if I think that negative thing is super important, I'm going to bring emotion to it. I'm going to have a meltdown around it. I'm going to have arguments over it. I'm going to say things like, oh, this always happens to me. Okay, I'm going to say things, oh, this is why my family's cursed. I'm going to say those things because I'm bringing emotion to it. I'm looking at it. Or I could have another perception of it, meaning that I see it. I see the negative thing happen. But I understand that in my 3D world, I understand if I bring emotion to it, that more stuff is going to happen to me in that cycle. I understand this, so I ignore it. Okay, I see that stumbling block and I just walk around it. I don't react to it. I don't bring emotion to it. Yes, it happened, but I don't react to it. I don't bring no emotion to it. Okay, so this is what we need to start doing. Stop bringing emotion to negative circumstances that happen. No matter how great they are, stop bringing a negative emotion. Stop reacting to it. And what I want you to start doing, everything in your life, every day, everything in your life that goes your way, that you like, you enjoy, bring emotion to that. That's what we need to start doing. We bring emotion to things that we like and we enjoy. And we start bringing emotion to that. We start talking about that. Because that basically does the same thing. It tells their subconscious mind, hey, Chad's focused on this. Chad's bringing emotion to it. He's happy. He's bringing emotion to it. He's laughing. I'm going to bring him more of that. So with the subconscious mind, there's no personality there. It doesn't take jokes. It has nothing to do with if you're a good person or a bad person. It just takes it as fact. It just takes it as true. It just takes it, whatever you put your energy to, that's what's going to come to you. That's what the subconscious mind is going to think, hey, Chad wants more of this. And it's going to start, that's when the law of karma starts happening. This is part 3 here. When we start kind of focusing on the positive and we start bringing energy to the positive, we start talking about it out loud. We start telling people, we start getting more involved with our hobbies and interests, things that we like and enjoy. Some of the faults here is that, for one, we're not used to doing it. You know what I mean? Like lots of times as a kid, it's kind of been taught to us not to talk about stuff we like. Or it might hurt people's feelings. People might not have the same lifestyle as you. So we kind of even brought up through school that we don't talk about things that we like, or especially as an adult. We've all experienced this where we go to work with something exciting we did over the weekend. We start talking about it at work, and the group of people we're talking to, you can just tell by body language, they don't want to hear it. And then we tend to kind of just shut up and not talk about it. And that's kind of and we start getting in a habit of that. Then later on in our lives, what we end up doing is we bring no emotion to things that we like. We don't talk about it because everybody we hang around don't want to hear it. And then the emotion we do talk about, the emotion we do bring to things is negative things. And that's why negative things keep on occurring. Just like the law of karma or a family curse, generational curse. That's how they start, because we're bringing emotion to it. And one way to change this is that if this is happening to you, what this should tell you is you're hanging around the wrong people. You're talking to the wrong people. There's people out there, there's friends out there that want to hear good things in your life. Okay, there's friends out there that think just like you, that they want to focus on the positive, focus on what they like, their hobbies, just like a little kid. You always ran around and talked about what you loved and enjoyed. That's the only thing you talked about to all your little buddies. Okay, you have to start the same thing. And if people don't want to hear you, you're hanging around with the wrong people. Maybe you don't want to hear that. Maybe if you're best friends, but you're hanging around with the wrong people. The people that love you truly are there as a friend. They're going to listen to, they're going to be involved with your life. They're going to be involved with what you like and enjoy. And, you know, I can remember last time, not this time, but last time I came home from Thailand, I got this little job, part-time job, like in a factory. And I never worked in a factory before. And when I went in a factory, everybody's talking to me and stuff like that, said what I've been doing and stuff. And I said, well, I just, you know, moved from Thailand, came back to visit family, be back here a little bit. And once I brought up Thailand, I could just tell by body language, nobody was interested. Nobody asked me questions about Thailand, except for one person. There was only one person in that whole place, that whole experience, and I talked to a lot of people. That was, when I brought up Thailand, they were like, oh, dude, brother, now how was Thailand? You lived abroad, how long you were there? And he started asking me all these questions because he was super interested. Okay, everybody else, they're kind of envy and jealous. They don't want to hear it. So then it kind of makes you, or kind of makes me feel like, well, I can't talk about things I like. I can't talk about things that I enjoy. And then the next thing to really talk about is negative BS. The next thing you know, you're basically getting in a habit of talking about negative things that happen to you. Then of course people want to hear that. They don't want to hear good things and great things and positive things that happen to you. They want to hear negative. And this is how the whole cycle starts again. The cycle starts both ways. You know, what you focus on, what you talk about is what's going to end up happening in your life. And this is how generational curses in general, the law of karma, this is how it all starts. But hopefully this video helped. Hopefully you got something out of it. Make sure you comment below. And if you feel like you struggle with this, you know, comment below and let me know. Let me know like what you're doing to kind of get out of it, what you're doing to kind of break that cycle. Or if you kind of need help a little bit or guidance a little bit, make sure you comment below, and I'll see you in the next video, and blessings to you, by the way.